The objective of today's learning is to make programs that can interactively draw things out using Turtle. So what do I mean by interactively? So far, when we are using Turtle, we basically give it like a predefined program that contains like a predefined visual that we wanted to draw out. And once we run the program, that program is only capable of drawing that single visual and nothing else. But what if we want to draw something else? Then, of course, we have to change the program to change the designated routine that we want the turtle to move and so on. But that can be bothersome, like having to change our program every single time we want to draw something else. So is there a way such that we can just run the program and then the turtle will just follow our instructions that we give it to it when the program is running, and then it will draw the things out based on what we tell them when the program is running. And that's the idea. That's like the top level idea of what we're going to be doing today. Basically, to create programs such that you can tell Turtle what to do when the program is running, instead of telling the Turtle what to do before the program even runs. So here's a paragraph that I quoted from the textbook, which I think should be really helpful to help you further understand what we're exactly doing today. So far, we've created some nice looking graphical representations, but we're still a step or two away from maybe building the next video games or mobile app. And the key that's missing here is coding for user interaction. That is, we want to make our program respond to mouse click, keyboards, and so on. Basically, you can tell the computer what you want, and the computer will respond to what we tell them with some reactions. I believe that you're very familiar with interactive applications. Whatever you're using on the iPad, or for example, the games, they are like a prime example as of what they are a prime example of interactive app. Let's think of a game. The most rudimentary game that's an interactive app will be Flappy Bird. So you click on the screen, and then the bird that's shown on the screen, when you click on the screen, it's gonna fly up and drop down. That's like a one rudimentary interactive application. You're telling the program when the program is running what to do, and the program will react to your inputs. And we call this kind of programs event-driven apps, because they will wait for the user to perform an action or event. And specifically, the piece of code that responds to a user event, like opening a window, or when the user clicks on an icon starting a game, or when they touch on a button or something, the code that handles those user input are called event handlers, because they handle or respond to an event from the user. It also has the name of event listener, because it is as if the computer is sitting patiently and waiting for you to tell the bird to fly up or fly down. And that's what we're going to be making today. So first, Hannah, give me an example of an event-driven app that we've used recently.
Would YouTube or Google count, because you have to click the thing or type the thing in and then it gives you what they think the answer is?
Yeah, that would be one example. So in this case, they are listening to the question you want to ask. So for example, Google, the program itself won't do anything. It will just sit there and wait for you to ask a question. And then based on what the question you're asking, it will give you the result. So in this case, the user asking the question, that is the event. And how Google handles that event, it handles it by searching for the answers that are related to your question and then presenting those answers to you. That's the response. or that's what the event handler that is doing. In today's class, we'll be learning how you can ask Python to handle your mouse clicks, like clicking your mouse button on the screen, or to handle your keyboard key press, for example, pressing down your arrow keys and so on. So without further ado, let's get into the first example of today. So this one, I'm not gonna use Repel today because Repel is kind of buggy when it comes down to doing live interactions using a graphical interface. So what I want to do today is, you see these 4 lines of code. I want you to open up a Python editor yourself and just type in these 4 lines of code and experiment with it using the question that I have posted on the screen right now. So the first question is, when you run this code, you'll see that nothing gets drawn out. Like the turtle graphics window will just sit there and nothing drawn out. So in order to answer the first question, you might want to first answer the second question, because the second question contains the answer to the first question. The second question asks you, when you run the code, what happens if you click on a blank spot on Turtle's window? So without further ado, I'll give you guys 7 minutes to copy this code and type it out on your side.